journey, designed to enhance your English learning through clear, simple sentences. If this story touched you, please hit the like button to show your support and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Your participation motivates us to create more enriching content for you. Welcome to our storytelling journey, where we unravel the inspiring tale of From Shadows to Light, the journey of a visionary, crafted to enhance your English learning through clear and simple sentences. If this story moves you, please press the like button to show your support and leave a comment to share your thoughts. Your engagement motivates us to create more enriching content for you. Chapter 1. Humble Beginnings. Once upon a time, in the deep south of the United States, there lived a young boy named Booker. He was born into a world where freedom was just a dream for him and his family. They worked from sunrise to sunset, with little rest and even less hope for a different tomorrow. Booker's home was a small wooden cabin. It had no windows and the floor was the cold, hard ground. At night, the family gathered around a small fire, seeking warmth and comfort in each other's stories. Despite the darkness of their days, Booker's mother always spoke of a brighter future, a future where education would light their way to freedom. Booker's days were long and tiring. He worked in the fields, his hands becoming rough and his back sore. But what troubled him most was not the physical pain, but the thirst for knowledge that went unquenched. He saw books in the master's house, and he longed to know their secrets. What worlds could they hold? He wondered. What mysteries could they solve? One day, while working in the fields, Booker overheard a conversation about a school for freed slaves. His heart leapt with hope. Could there really be a place where I could learn, where I could be more than this? He thought. That night, he couldn't sleep. The idea of learning, of changing his fate, consumed him. Booker knew the journey would be hard. He had no money, no map, and no friends in the places where schools could be found. But inside him burned a fire no hardship could extinguish. I will make it, he whispered to the stars. For my family, for my future, I will find a way. As dawn broke, Booker looked at his mother. In her eyes he saw fear, but also pride. She hugged him tightly, whispering, "Go, learn, and bring light to our darkness," with those words echoing in his heart. Booker set off into the unknown, driven by a dream of freedom and a hunger for knowledge. This was just the beginning of Booker's journey, a journey not just of miles, but of perseverance, courage, and an unyielding belief in the power of education. Little did he know, the road ahead would be filled with challenges and triumphs, shaping him into a beacon of hope for generations to come. Chapter 2. Dreaming of Education. In the quiet of the night, Booker began his journey, fueled by dreams bigger than the stars above. The path was not easy. It was filled with obstacles that tested his spirit. Yet his desire to learn shone brighter than any hardship he faced. As Booker travelled, he met people from all walks of life. Some were kind, offering him food and a place to rest. Others looked at him with suspicion, making his journey even more challenging. But Booker's resolve never wavered. He knew that each step took him closer to his dream. After many days and nights, Booker arrived at a crossroads. One path led to a small town with a school known to welcome young minds hungry for knowledge. The other path wandered into uncertainty. Booker stood there, thinking deeply. The decision was not easy, but his heart whispered, "Education is the key to freedom." With renewed determination, he chose the path to the school. The school was unlike anything Booker had ever seen. It was a place buzzing with ideas, with voices eager to learn and teach. For the first time, Booker felt he belonged somewhere. He saw children, no different from him, reading and writing. Their eyes filled with hope and curiosity. However, the school had its rules. To stay and learn, Booker needed to work. He didn't hesitate. He cleaned, cooked, and did whatever was needed, all the while soaking in every word, every lesson like a sponge. His days were long, but his spirit was invigorated by the knowledge he gained. Booker's teachers quickly noticed his dedication. They saw a bright spark in his eyes, a spark that could ignite change. They encouraged him, pushing him to reach higher, to dream bigger, and dream he did. Booker imagined a future where he could share the light of education with others who were still trapped in darkness. One evening, as he sat alone under the canopy of stars, Booker made a vow. He promised to use his education not just to change his own life, but to light a path for others to follow. Education is freedom, he whispered to the night, and I will be its torchbearer. Chapter 3. The Journey to Hampton. With his heart set on learning, Booker embarked on a new journey, one that would take him to Hampton, a place where dreams of education could become reality. This journey was not just a physical one, spanning hundreds of miles, but also a journey of hope and resilience. As Booker walked, his thoughts were his companions. He thought about his family, left behind but never forgotten, and how proud they would be. He imagined the classrooms, filled with books and knowledge waiting to be discovered. With each step, his dream grew stronger, but so did the challenges. The road to Hampton was long and weary. There were days when Booker felt the weight of his dreams might be too much to carry. He encountered rivers that seemed too wide to cross, and mountains too steep to climb. Hunger and fatigue became his constant foes. Yet, with each obstacle, his resolve grew. This journey is my bridge to a better life, he reminded himself. One day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of orange and pink, Booker reached a small town. The people he met there saw the determination in his eyes. They offered him work in exchange for food and a place to sleep. It was here that Booker learned an important lesson. Kindness exists even in the most unexpected places. With renewed strength, Booker continued his journey, each step fueled by the kindness he had experienced. Finally, after many days, he saw the gates of Hampton in the distance. His heart swelled with emotion. It was a moment of triumph, a testament to his unwavering spirit. As he stood at the entrance, tired but filled with hope, Booker knew that this was just the beginning. Hampton was not just a school. It was a beacon of light, guiding him toward a future he once thought was out of reach. Here, I will learn. Here, I will grow, Booker whispered to himself as he took his first step into the school that would change his life forever. Chapter 4. First Days at Hampton. Booker's first day at Hampton was a day of mixed emotions. As he walked through the gates, his heart was heavy with the weight of his journey, but also light with the hope of what was to come. He looked around at the tall buildings and wide courtyards, so different from the world he had known. On that first day, Booker faced his first big test. It was not in a classroom or from a book. Instead, it was about cleanliness, a lesson on the importance of keeping both body and environment clean. The head teacher handed him a brush and led him to a room covered in dust. To learn, you must first pass this test, she said, her eyes serious but kind. Booker took the brush in his hands, feeling its weight. He understood this was not just about cleaning a room, it was about proving his willingness to work hard for his education. So he swept and scrubbed, not stopping until every corner shone. When he finished, the teacher inspected the room and nodded in approval. "You have passed," she said. Booker's heart soared. He had earned his place at Hampton. Those early days were filled with hard work, both in and out of the classroom. Booker spent his mornings learning to read, write, and do math. He discovered the magic of words, the power of numbers, and the beauty of knowledge. In the afternoons, he worked, doing jobs around the school to pay for his lessons. Despite the exhaustion, Booker felt a deep sense of happiness. Each day brought new challenges, but also new opportunities to learn and grow. He made friends, fellow students who shared his thirst for knowledge and his dream of a better life. Together, they studied, worked, and dreamed of the future. As the days turned into weeks, Booker realized that Hampton was changing him. He was no longer just a boy from the South with a dream. He was becoming a scholar, a leader, and a beacon of hope for others who wished to follow in his footsteps. Chapter 5. Working for Education. As days turned into weeks, Booker's life at Hampton became a blend of learning and hard work. He understood that to continue his education, he needed to work. And work he did, with a determination that inspired everyone around him. Every morning, before the sun rose, Booker was already up. He had jobs to do, jobs that paid for his classes. He cleaned rooms, helped in the kitchen, and did whatever work was needed. It was tough, and sometimes he felt so tired he could barely stand. But whenever he felt like giving up, he remembered his dream. This dream gave him the strength to keep going. One job Booker had was in the dining hall. Here, he learned not just about hard work, but about service and responsibility. He served food to his fellow students, always with a smile, no matter how hard his day had been. This job taught him about kindness and the importance of helping others. Through this work, Booker also learned valuable lessons that went beyond books and classrooms. He learned about time management, as he had to balance his studies with his jobs. He learned about commitment, as he had to show up for work every day, no matter what. And he learned about resilience, as he faced and overcame challenges every day. But most importantly, Booker learned about the value of education. He saw how his hard work was paying off, not just in the coins he earned, but in the knowledge he gained. Each day he felt himself growing smarter, stronger, and more capable. He was not just working for education, he was working for a better future, for himself and for others. In the quiet moments when he was alone with his thoughts, Booker felt a deep sense of pride. He was doing something remarkable. He was changing his life one day at a time, through hard work and education. And he knew that this was just the beginning. Chapter 6. Learning to Lead. Booker's time at Hampton was not just about studying and working. It was also about growing into a leader. He didn't know it yet, but every challenge he faced was preparing him to lead others toward their dreams, just as he was following his. One day, a teacher noticed Booker's hard work and his way of helping others. She saw a leader in him, even before he saw it in himself. She asked him to lead a small project with his classmates. Booker felt nervous. Can I really do this? He wondered. But he remembered his journey, the obstacles he had overcome, and the dreams he was chasing. With a deep breath, he agreed. Leading the project wasn't easy. Booker had to plan, make decisions, and solve problems. Sometimes, things didn't go as planned. But Booker learned an important lesson. Leadership is not just about guiding others, it's also about listening and learning from them. As he worked with his team, Booker discovered the joy of seeing others succeed. He helped his classmates, offering encouragement and support. Together, they achieved their goal, and Booker felt a new kind of happiness. He realized that helping others reach their dreams was as fulfilling as chasing his own. This experience was a turning point for Booker. He started to see himself differently. He was not just a student or a worker, he was a leader, someone who could make a difference in the lives of others. He began to take on more leadership roles, always with the goal of lifting others as he climbed. Booker's leadership was not loud or flashy. It was quiet and steady. He led by example, showing others the power of hard work, perseverance, and kindness. And as he grew as a leader, he inspired those around him to believe in themselves and in their dreams. Chapter 7. Returning to the South. After years of hard work and learning, Booker fastened a new chapter in his life. It was time to return to the South, the place where he had started his journey. But now, he was not just returning home. He was bringing with him a mission to educate others. As he prepared for his journey back, Booker felt a mix of excitement and fear. He knew the South was filled with challenges, especially for someone like him, eager to teach and change the old ways. But his heart was strong and his resolve was unwavering. I am ready, he thought to himself, to make a difference. The South greeted Booker with its warm sun and familiar landscapes. But beneath its beauty, there were deep scars, a reminder of the struggles that lay ahead. Booker traveled from town to town, speaking about the importance of education for everyone. His words were simple but powerful, touching the hearts of those who listened. In one small town, Booker met resistance. Why change? People asked. This is how it's always been. But Booker did not give up. He spoke with passion about his own journey, about the doors that education had opened for him. Slowly, people began to listen, to understand, and to believe. Booker's greatest challenge came when he decided to start a small school. He had no money, no building, and no books. But he had something more important, a vision of a future where everyone had the chance to learn and grow. With the help of the community, he began to turn his dream into reality. Every day was a struggle. Booker and his students worked together to build their school from the ground up. They used whatever materials they could find, and they learned not just from books, but from the work they did with their hands. It was hard, but every day brought them closer to their goal. Chapter 8. Establishing Tuskegee Institute. Booker's dream was taking shape in the form of a small school in Tuskegee. He knew that education was the key to change, and he was determined to unlock a brighter future for his students. The beginning was humble, with just a handful of students and a few simple classrooms. But Booker saw potential where others saw only limitations. Every morning, Booker stood before his students, sharing not just knowledge from books, but lessons from life. He taught them about dignity in work, the value of honesty, and the importance of perseverance. Never give up, he would say, no matter how hard the road ahead seems. The school faced many challenges. There were days when there was hardly enough food for everyone, and the lack of resources made teaching difficult. But Booker and his students remained undaunted. They worked together, growing crops to feed themselves and building more classrooms with their own hands. Word of their efforts spread, attracting more students and teachers who wanted to be part of this remarkable journey. With each passing day, the small school in Tuskegee grew, becoming a beacon of hope for those who had thought education beyond their reach. Booker's vision was clear. He wanted his students to leave Tuskegee not just with knowledge, but with skills that could transform their lives and communities. He introduced practical courses like carpentry, farming, and sewing, believing that education should be a tool for self-reliance and empowerment. The impact of Tuskegee Institute was profound. It changed lives, breaking the cycle of poverty for many, and proving that education could lift individuals and communities out of darkness and into the light of possibility. As the sun set on another day at Tuskegee, Booker looked over the bustling campus, his heart filled with pride. From a dream born in the heart of a young boy who once longed to read, to the reality of a school that offered hope to many, he had come so far. But he knew that the journey was far from over. There were still many battles to be fought, many minds to enlighten, and many hearts to inspire. Chapter 9. Challenges and Victories. In the story of Tuskegee Institute, the path to success was not straight or easy. Each day brought new challenges for Booker and his dedicated team. Whether it was a lack of funds, materials, or even support from the community, the obstacles seemed endless. Yet, with every challenge, there was a lesson to be learned and a victory to be won. Booker believed in the power of persistence. Obstacles are opportunities in disguise, he would often say to his students and staff. This belief turned every problem into a chance to innovate and grow stronger. When the school needed more space but had no money for construction, Booker led his students to make bricks. Together, they built not just buildings, but a symbol of what can be achieved through hard work and unity. However, the journey of Tuskegee was not just about building a physical space for education. It was also about building trust and breaking down barriers within the community. Booker reached out to neighbors, businesses, and other schools, sharing his vision of a world where everyone had access to education. Slowly, skepticism turned into support, and former doubters became allies. One of the most significant victories was when Tuskegee held its first graduation. It was a moment of immense pride and joy, not just for the graduates and their families, but for the entire community. The ceremony was simple, but the message was clear. Education was the key to a new beginning. This graduation was a testament to the Institute's success in facing and overcoming its challenges. Each graduate was a beacon of hope, ready to use their knowledge and skills to make a difference in the world. As Booker watched his students receive their diplomas, he knew that each one represented a victory over adversity. They were proof that with faith, determination, and hard work, any challenge could be overcome. Chapter 10. Agriculture as Education. As Tuskegee Institute grew, Booker introduced a new idea that was close to his heart, teaching agriculture alongside academic subjects. He knew that for his students to truly succeed, they needed skills that could help them build a sustainable future, not just for themselves, but for their communities. Booker started with a simple plot of land, barren and unyielding. He saw it as a blank canvas, an opportunity to teach his students about the land's potential. The soil under your feet is the foundation of life, he explained. By learning to cultivate it, you cultivate hope and prosperity for yourself and those around you. The agriculture program at Tuskegee was not just about planting seeds and harvesting crops. It was about understanding the environment, conserving resources, and respecting the delicate balance of nature. Booker and his students worked side by side, transforming the once barren land into fertile fields that teemed with life. This hands-on approach to learning was revolutionary. Students not only read about agriculture in books, but they also put their knowledge into practice. They learned the value of hard work, patience, and the rewards of harvesting what they sowed. The program was a success, producing not just crops, but young farmers who were ready to go back to their communities and share their newfound knowledge. But the impact of the agriculture program went beyond farming. It taught students about leadership, responsibility, and the importance of community. They learned that by working together, they could overcome challenges and create opportunities not just for themselves, but for others. As the seasons changed, so did the landscape of Tuskegee. The once empty fields were now a testament to the Institute's hard work and innovation. Booker looked over the thriving fields, filled with students and crops, and felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had planted more than just seeds in the ground. He had planted the seeds of change. Chapter 11. Building Community. With Tuskegee Institute flourishing, Booker turned his focus towards a new challenge, building a stronger community. He believed that education was more than just learning in classrooms. It was about uplifting entire communities, making them places where everyone could thrive. Booker started by encouraging his students to use their skills outside the school. Take what you've learned here and share it, he urged. Help your neighbors, build your towns, make them better for everyone. His students listened, becoming teachers, farmers, carpenters, and leaders in their own communities. One of the first projects was a simple community garden. Booker and his students worked alongside townspeople, turning a neglected piece of land into a source of pride and produce for the town. This garden was more than just a place to grow food. It was a place where people of all ages came together, breaking down barriers and building friendships. The success of the community garden led to more projects. Tuskegee students helped build houses, repair schools, and start small businesses. Each project brought the community closer, creating a sense of belonging and shared purpose. Booker's vision was becoming a reality. The community around Tuskegee was transforming, growing stronger and more resilient. People began to take pride in their town, working together to solve problems and celebrate successes. But the real victory was in the hearts and minds of the people. They had seen the power of education and hard work. They had learned that change was possible and that they were the ones who could make it happen. As Booker walked through the town, seeing the changes that had taken place, he felt a deep sense of satisfaction. He had not only built a school, he had helped build a community. A community that believed in education, in hard work, and in each other. Chapter 12. National Recognition. As the years passed, the impact of Tuskegee Institute and its community projects began to attract attention far beyond the local town. The school that Booker had built with hard work and determination was now a symbol of hope and progress, not just for African Americans, but for all who believed in the power of education. Word of Booker's achievements spread, reaching the ears of educators, politicians, and philanthropists across the country. They were amazed by what they heard. A former slave who had built one of the most successful educational institutions in the South, transforming not only the lives of his students, but also the community around them. Then, one day, a letter arrived at Tuskegee. It was an invitation for Booker to speak at a national conference in Atlanta. This was a moment of great opportunity, a chance to share his vision with the whole country. Booker felt the weight of this moment. He knew that his words could open minds and change hearts, that this was a chance to make a difference on a national scale. As he stood on the stage in Atlanta, facing a crowd of thousands, Booker spoke from the heart. He talked about his journey, about the importance of education and hard work. He spoke about unity and progress, about building a better future together. His words were simple but powerful, touching the hearts of everyone who listened. The speech was a triumph. It was praised by newspapers and discussed in homes and meeting halls across the country. Booker T. Washington, once a child born into slavery, was now a national figure, a voice of wisdom and hope. But even as the accolades poured in, Booker remained focused on his mission. He returned to Tuskegee with a renewed sense of purpose, determined to continue his work. The national recognition had opened new doors, bringing support and resources that would help the Institute grow even further. Chapter 13. The Atlanta Exposition Speech. After his successful speech in Atlanta, Booker became a beacon of hope for many. His words had resonated across the nation, inspiring a wave of support for educational initiatives. This moment marked a turning point, not just for Booker but for the entire movement towards equality and education for African Americans. Emboldened by the positive response, Booker set out to leverage this newfound attention for the greater good. He envisioned schools and educational programs sprouting up across the South, each one a testament to the power of knowledge and hard work. But with great visibility came great scrutiny. Not everyone agreed with Booker's methods or his message of gradual progress through education and hard work. Some critics wanted more immediate change, while others feared the rise of an educated African American population. Despite the opposition, Booker remained steadfast in his belief that education was the key to freedom and equality. Determined to broaden his impact, Booker began to travel more extensively, speaking in towns and cities across the country. He met with educators, politicians, and community leaders, sharing his vision and seeking support for his cause. With each speech, he refined his message, always emphasizing the importance of self-reliance, education, and unity. Back at Tuskegee, the Institute continued to grow, becoming a model for vocational education. Booker's students were not just learning, they were thriving, equipped with the skills and knowledge to build better lives for themselves and their communities. Booker's efforts also began to attract international attention. Educators from around the world visited Tuskegee to learn from its success. Booker's model of education, which blended academic learning with practical training, was seen as a revolutionary approach to addressing poverty and inequality. Through all these achievements, Booker T. Washington remained humble. He knew that the road ahead was still long and that true equality and freedom for African Americans would require continuous effort and perseverance. Yet, he had laid a strong foundation, one that would inspire generations to come. Chapter 14. Traveling to Europe. The success of Tuskegee Institute and Booker's powerful speeches had not only captured the attention of America, but had also sparked interest across the ocean. In a turn of events that seemed like a distant dream, Booker was invited to Europe to share his experiences and insights on education and social progress. This journey was not just a personal achievement for Booker, it represented a bridge between continents, a sharing of knowledge and ideas. As Booker set sail for Europe, he felt a mix of excitement and responsibility. Europe, with its rich history and diverse cultures, offered a new platform for him to advocate for education and equality. He was determined to make the most of this opportunity, to learn as much as he could, and to share the story of Tuskegee and its mission. Arriving in Europe, Booker was greeted with great respect. He met with educators, leaders, and thinkers, engaging in discussions about educational systems, social reforms, and the importance of vocational training. Everywhere he went, he emphasized the value of education as a tool for empowerment and social change. One of the highlights of his trip was visiting schools and universities. He observed European educational practices, noting both similarities and differences with his own methods. These observations gave him new ideas to improve Tuskegee and further its impact. Booker's journey also allowed him to see the struggles and achievements of other cultures, broadening his understanding of the world. He saw parallels between the fight for African American rights in the United States and struggles for justice elsewhere. These experiences reinforced his belief in the universal power of education to uplift and unite people across different backgrounds and nationalities. Throughout his travels, Booker spoke about the achievements of Tuskegee Institute, not just as a success story of African American education, but as a testament to what could be achieved through perseverance, hard work, and a focus on practical skills. His message was clear. Education should be accessible to all and should prepare individuals to contribute positively to society. Returning from Europe, Booker brought back not only new ideas, but also a renewed sense of purpose. He was more convinced than ever that education was the key to progress, and he was determined to continue his work with even greater vigor. Chapter 15. Education for All. Upon returning from Europe, Booker was filled with new ideas and a renewed determination to expand his mission even further. He had seen the impact of education on different societies and was more convinced than ever of its power to transform lives. Now, he was eager to apply these insights back home, pushing for education that was accessible to all, regardless of race or background. Booker began to advocate more passionately for educational reforms. He believed that everyone, not just the students at Tuskegee, should have the opportunity to learn and grow. Education is not a privilege, it is a right, he would often say. This belief drove him to work tirelessly, speaking out for the need for schools that catered to the needs of all communities, especially those that were underserved and marginalized. He worked closely with educators and policymakers, proposing new educational programs that focused on practical skills alongside academic learning. Booker's vision was to create a system of education that prepared individuals for real-world challenges, empowering them to improve their lives and their communities. His advocacy extended beyond African American communities. He reached out to poor white communities in the South, understanding that poverty and lack of education were issues that transcended race. By advocating for education for all, Booker hoped to bridge divides and build a more unified, prosperous society. Booker also emphasized the importance of teacher training. He knew that dedicated, well-trained teachers were key to the success of any educational endeavor. He championed the creation of teacher training programs that would equip educators with the skills and knowledge to inspire and guide their students. The impact of Booker's advocacy was profound. Slowly, more schools began to open, offering education to those who had been denied it. These schools followed the model of Tuskegee, blending academic subjects with practical training, and they began to change the landscape of education in the South. Booker's efforts also garnered support from philanthropists and organizations across the country. They saw the value in his vision of education for all and provided the funding needed to expand these educational initiatives. As Booker witnessed the growth of these new schools and programs, he felt a deep sense of achievement. He had faced incredible challenges, but his belief in the power of education had never wavered. Now, he could see the fruits of his labor, a generation of learners equipped to make a difference in the world. Chapter 16. Legacy and Future. As years passed, Booker T. Washington's vision continued to inspire and transform countless lives. The schools he advocated for became beacons of hope in communities across the country, embodying his belief that education was the key to personal and societal advancement. But Booker knew his work was far from finished. He often reflected on the future, pondering the legacy he would leave behind and the path that lay ahead for the generations to come. Bucca's thoughts frequently turned to his students, the young men and women who had walked through the doors of Tuskegee Institute, their hearts filled with dreams and aspirations. He saw in them the future leaders, educators, and innovators who would carry forward the torch of progress. "You are the architects of your own destiny," he would tell them, emphasizing that their achievements would not only shape their futures, but also the future of their communities and the nation. Determined to ensure the sustainability of his efforts, Bucca worked on strengthening the foundation of Tuskegee Institute and other educational initiatives he had supported. He established scholarships, sought partnerships with philanthropic organizations, and advocated for policies that would secure funding for education. His goal was to make sure that the opportunities for learning and growth he had fought so hard to create would endure long after he was gone. Bucca also understood the importance of documenting his journey and the lessons he had learned along the way. He authored several books and articles, sharing his philosophy on education, hard work, and self-reliance. These writings became a source of inspiration and guidance for many, further extending his influence beyond the confines of his immediate environment. As his fame grew, so did the respect and admiration for his work. Booker T. Washington became not just a national figure, but a symbol of the transformative power of education and perseverance. His life story, from a slave to an educator and leader, served as a testament to what could be achieved with determination and faith in the potential of every individual. In reflecting on his legacy, Booker hoped that his life's work would serve as a foundation upon which future generations could build a better, more equitable society. He envisioned a future where access to education would no longer be a barrier to anyone's dreams, a world where everyone, regardless of race or background, could achieve their full potential. Chapter 17. Wisdom from a Life. In the quiet of his office at Tuskegee, surrounded by books and papers chronicling a lifetime of effort and achievement, Booker T. Washington paused to reflect. His life, once bound by the chains of slavery, had blossomed into a legacy of empowerment and enlightenment. As he contemplated his journey, he pondered the essence of the wisdom he wished to pass on. Education, Booker mused, is the key that unlocks the golden door of freedom. This belief had been the cornerstone of his life's work. He understood that true education was not merely the acquisition of knowledge, but the cultivation of character, the development of critical thinking, and the nurturing of a compassionate heart. Hard work and resilience formed the next chapter of his reflection. Booker had faced countless obstacles, yet he never wavered in his belief that persistence and dedication were the bedrock of success. Nothing ever comes to one that is worth having except as a result of hard work, he thought. This principle had guided him through the darkest times, fueling his determination to build a better future for his people. Booker also contemplated the value of humility and service. He had risen to prominence, but he remained grounded in the understanding that true greatness comes from serving others. Lift as you climb, he often advised his students, emphasizing that success was not measured by personal accolades, but by the positive impact one had on the lives of others. As the twilight deepened, Booker's thoughts turned to the future. He envisioned a world where equality and justice were not just ideals, but realities for all. He dreamed of a time when education would be accessible to every child, when every individual would have the opportunity to realize their potential. In this moment of reflection, Booker T. Washington understood that his legacy would not be the institutions he built, or the honors he received, but the lives he touched and the hope he inspired. His wisdom, distilled from a life of hardship and triumph, was his most precious gift to the world. We hope you found inspiration and insight in this tale, beautifully designed to support your English learning journey with Woo English. If this story has touched you, enlightened you, or helped you in your path to mastering English, we kindly ask you to press the like button and reward our efforts. Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And for more stories like this, complete with the opportunity to download them in PDF format, please visit wooenglish.com. Your support and engagement drive us to continue creating valuable content that helps you learn, grow, and achieve. Thank you for being a part of our community.